It is a significant time to come together, a time of renewal and reflection. We believe that it's an especially important time for us to be together, the Muslim community, to really understand the contributions that you have all made to this nation. We are grateful to the Muslim Public Affairs Council and its director, Salam al-Marayati, and the Muslim Women's League and its president, Dr. Layla el-Marayati, for all their help in co-sponsoring this reception.
It is in peace and love, therefore, that we come to the White House, our house, as it is of all Americans. But Islam also teaches that we cannot thank God without thanking people. And it is therefore from the depth of our heart that we say thank you, Mrs. Clinton. It was you who opened the White House to us after having opened your heart.
Among the beauties of Islam is the recognition that God bestows in abundant or scant measure as he pleases. Yet those who are endowed with more are tested by those gifts, called upon to give and share with our fellow man, as God says in the Holy Quran. It is we, God, who distribute their means of livelihood among them in the life of this world, and raise some of them above others by degrees, so that they might avail themselves of one another's help. And your sustainers' grace is better than all that they amass. As part of a large global community, we need to reflect on the circumstances of our brothers and sisters around the world, also celebrating Eid al-Fitr, but with challenges of their own. As we celebrate families coming together here, we must think about the Bosnian survivors of an attempted genocide trying to put the pieces of their shattered lives and families back together, struggling to recover and rebuild. As we give thanks for the abundance of food and health that we have in this country, we must take a moment in prayer for the children of Iraq who are malnourished, sick, and dying through no fault of their own, living in abject poverty like many other Muslims around the world. We give thanks for the freedoms and rights enjoyed by us in this country, the right to worship as we choose, a right denied to Muslims and others in places like Burma and China, the right to education, which is unavailable to millions of Muslim women and children destined to a life of illiteracy, the right to security and safety, which totally eludes the people of Algeria, who are in the midst of a horrific civil war with over 1,000 lives lost in Ramadan alone. And we have freedom of movement and national identity, which to this day evades young Palestinians spending their entire lives growing up in refugee camps.
As you celebrate the end of this holy month, all over the world, people are coming together as we have here, praying, rejoicing, honoring family and community, remembering the poor, renewing the spirit, and rededicating themselves to the values that bind you together and connect all of us as human beings. We are a nation of immigrants. We have been strengthened by many faiths. We are united despite our differences in our common faith in democracy and freedom, in respect and tolerance. We see our rich heritage every day in the foods we eat, the clothes we wear, the music we listen to, the languages and accents we hear as we walk down the street. I hope we also will learn that the example that you have set during this month of self-denial, as you have grown stronger in spirit, stronger in compassion for the poor, stronger in your commitment to family, are not only your values, they are American values, they are universal values. And as we enter this new century and new millennium, we must never lose sight of those universal values. It is sometimes too easy to focus on what drives us apart instead of what brings us together. It is sometimes tempting to give in to the siren voices that Dr. Hathout referred to that sow discord and hatred among us instead of focusing on what we share together. We have seen what happens when we betray the true purpose of religion by using it as an excuse for intolerance, divisiveness, violence, and hatred. I hope that as we all take stock of where we are in our country, that we remind ourselves that if we have learned nothing in the last century as Americans, I hope we have learned that when anyone's dignity is compromised, the dignity of all of us is compromised. and we should all stand together on behalf of the fundamental freedoms and values that we claim as Americans. The Quran The Quran teaches that Islam is a commitment to live in peace. As I was thinking about preparing for being here with you today, I thought about a favorite hymn of mine, and I thought about the word peace, because we all want the world to live in peace, but we should know that peace begins with each of us. Peace, that is what we must pursue in our own hearts, in our homes, in our communities, and across the world.